Welcome back to Sego's This and That. In today's video, we'll delve into the astonishing revelations made by Magistrate Vivian during her testimony, confirming the unlawful detention of accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, in the confession case. Stay tuned till the end to hear how Advocate Zandim Shalolo strategically cornered the magistrate into acknowledging the illegality surrounding Ntanzi's arrest. Subscribe to our channel for more intriguing updates.
Thank you, my lord. Ms. Cronia, I just have a few questions on the document that you completed. On the first page, wherein you wrote and remarked that Sergeant V. Mohane, accompanied by heavily aimed Metro police officials. You see that note? By heavily armed, yes, thank you. So it means the accused at the time when he was brought to you, he was brought by heavily armed police officials.
Metro police beamptes is correct.
Metro police officers, you are correct.
Okay. And from your experience, you've said you have done more than 50, you have taken more than 50 statements. Am I correct?
I said approximately 50 confessions. Confessions out 50.
Okay. Out of those statements that we have taken, have you come across with a person who has been brought by Metro police officers, or a person will be brought by SAPS members?
I have encountered yes that police officers bring them.
Yes. Will those police be heavily armed as well?
Hierdie was die eerste geval waar ek basis van buite af inkom in 'n kantoor in.
Okay. This was the first instance where I would come from outside and walk into an office. Kwakuyihlandla lokuqala ke lelo ukuthi ngibuye noma ngisuke ngaphandle ngingena ngaphakathi e-office
Vir 'n bekentenis.
for a confession ukuthi ke ngizokwenza i-statement ke.
Met die ander gevalle was ek reeds in my kantoor gewees en is die persoon na my toe gebring. So ek weet nie in watter omstandighede hulle gebring is nie. Die polisiebeampte wat hom bring kom wel saam met hom in om sy besonderhede vir my te gee.
Then I would be in the office, the person would be brought to me, so I wouldn't know the circumstances under which that person or persons would be brought, but the police officer accompanying that person would come into the office with the person. Amahlandla ke noma ke kwamanye amahlandla ke bese ngishilo ukuthi kwakuyihlandla loqala leli ukuthi ngisuke ngaphandle ngibone okwenzekayo. Amahlandla ke amaningi ke bengibase office lami umuntu alethwe ke ukuthi ke ulethwa ngaphansi kweziphi ke izimo angikwazi lokho bekungena iphoyisa elihamba naye noma elimkhaphayo.
Sodra gemelde polisiebeampte wat die persoon wat die bekentenis af wil lê, ingebring het in die kantoor en sy besonderhede verskaf het, dan verlaat hy die kantoor.
As soon after the police officer who accompanies the person who comes to make a confession brought the person in, gives me his particulars, that person or that police officer would then leave the office. Bese kuthi ke uma ngaba iphoyisa lelo elimkhaphileke noma elimlethile bese limngenisile ngaphakathi la ngingeza imininingwane yalo bese liyaphuma ke e-office.
Okay, so this was the first incident that you witnessed. This was the first incident that you witnessed or that you came across with from your experience, to see an accused person being brought by heavily armed police officials.
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Kuyiqiniseke lokho ukuthi kwakuyihlandla lokuqala ke ukuthi ngiziboneleke umuntu ukuthi ulethwe kanjani noma ke uhamba amaphoyisa ayinqwaba futhi ahlomile.
And when you requested for their appointment certificate, they disappeared.
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Kuyiqiniseke nokuthi uma semfuna ke izertificate zabo ke zomsebenzi base beyaduka.
And no one could give you the reason why they ran away when you asked.
They ran away.
Can I just rephrase, my lord?
Yes.
And no one told you the reason why they decided to leave when you have instructed them to give you their appointment certificates.
Nee.
No. Akekho ke futhi nowanginikeza nesizathu ke sokuthi base beyahamba ke noma benyamalala ke uma semfuna ke izertificate zabo zokusebenza noma zomsebenzi.
But they defied your instruction.
Dis korrek.
Am I correct?
Dis reg.
You are right. Yabo ke kuyiqiniseke ukuthi ke lokho mina ke engangicelile noma ngangithiwa mawakwenze abakwenzanga.
Okay. And when they left, you do not know where did they go to, whether they left the building or whether they went out of the building. The premises, I mean the premises of the magistrate office.
Is korrek.
You are correct. Uqiniseke ukuthi uma bephuma ke angazi noma bahamba bashiya ibhilidi noma babese khona ke lapho emagcekeni enkantolo.
Okay. Let's move on, Mr. Cronje, to the particulars of the so alleged attorney who represented accused number 2. You have testified that you did not make a copy of the certificate, fidelity certificate. Am I correct?
Dis korrek.
Okay.
That is correct. Ngishilo ke ukuthi ke icopy ye-certificate lesa salo owayethi ngumeli angizange ngisenze.
Having failed to do that, did you ask from which law firm was he coming from? Was it an attorney or was it an advocate?
Ek het nie gevra nie. Dit was 'n prokureur gewees sover my kennis strek. En die Fidelity Fund sertifikaat is aanduidend vir my dat hy vir sy eie trust rekening praktiseer.
I did not ask. He was an attorney as far as my recollection goes, and the Fidelity Fund certificate was then indicative that he was responsible for his own trust. Angizange ngibuzeke nokuthi ukuthi ubuya kuyiphi ke ifirm noma ke ihhovisi labameli futhi ke nalana i-certificate lesi ke siyasho ke ukuthi ke usebenzela noma kwakuyi-trust eyakhe.
Okay, so we're not sure whether he was a practicing advocate or a practicing attorney. Am I correct?
Ek het nie verder daarop ingegaan nie. Dit is korrek.
You are correct. I didn't go further into that. Qiniseke angizange ngijuleke noma ngene kabanzi ke mayelana naleyo mininingwane.
Okay. And you also did not ask any mandate, written mandate, for him to be able to present the accused that was before you. You did not ask that.
Nee, want die deposant het vir my aangedui dit is sy prokureur wie hy aangestel het en met wie hy gekonsulteer het en dit is ook bevestig deur hierdie meneer Mjiaku dat hy aangestel is deur meneer Ntanzi dat hy met hom gekonsulteer het en dat hy hom verteenwoordig.
No.
So ek het nie verder daarop ingegaan.
No, I didn't, because the deponent confirmed to me or told me that that was his attorney that he had appointed, that he had consulted with, and it was also confirmed that by this Mr. Mjiako that he had been instructed or appointed and also consulted.
Besides being confirmed by the accused. Oh, sorry, my lord.
Sorry. Lana ke angizange okwenzeka la ukuthi ke yena ke umnumzana uNtanzi ke uyena wangitshela ukuthi umeli wakhe ke lona amfoka nokuthi asifuthi asekhulumileke naye ke umjiyabo wase eyakuvuma ke lokuthi ngempela ke umele yena ke futhi uconsultile naye.
No, besides what was said by the accused, Ms. Cronje, I'm just asking if you, as an officer of the court, did ask the attorney for the mandate to represent the accused.
Ek het nie gevra of hy 'n mandaat gekry het vir enigiemand anders nie. Hy het wel net aangedui dat hy wel aangestel is, dat hy instruksies ontvang het en dat hy wel behoorlik gekonsulteer het en hy het aangedui dat dit van meneer Ntanzi toe?
I did not ask him for any mandate coming from any person. He just confirmed that indeed he was appointed and that he had thoroughly consulted with Mr. Ntanzi. Angibuzanga-ke noma ngiceleke incwadi-ke eshoyo noma ekhombisayo-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke uqokiwe uyena ummeli, kodwa-ke nje ngamtshela-ke lokho akushoyo ukuthi impela-ke utholile-ke instruction yokuthi amele uMr. Ntanzi nokuthi-ke usekhulume xoxile naye lokhu kubizwa ukuthi uconsult.
When you had been given the document by the other magistrates and you went inside into your office to take this statement, why was it necessary to allow the other 2 police officers to enter inside the room where you were taking this statement?
U sal onthou dat toe ek aangekom het, meneer Liesering genader het. Hy was op daardie stadium onbekend aan my en gevra het vir die aanstellingssertifikate van almal teenwoordig.
You will recall that as I came, I then approached Mr. Liesering, who was at that particular time unknown to me, and requested the appointment certificates of everyone that was present there. Uzokhumbula-ke ukuthi inkathi ngifika lapho ngaya-ke ku-Liesering engangingamazi ngaleso sikhathi, ngase ngicela-ke ama-certificate noma appointment certificate ayena wonke umuntu owayekhona lapho.
Dis nie op my verskaf op daai stadium nie en ek is in die kantoor in.
It was not provided to me at that point in time. I then went into the office. Kodwa-ke angikunikezwanga lokho ngaleso sikhathi, ngase ngena ngaphakathi ehhovisi.
Toe hulle ingekom het ons nog nie begin nie en die doel was om aan my die kopie te verskaf van daai 2 aanstellingssertifikate van meneer Liesering en meneer, ekskuus ek moet nie kry, meneer Jonathan.
When they entered at that time, we hadn't started, and the reason for them coming in, it was to provide me with those 2 copies of the appointment certificate of Mr. Liesering as well as Mr. Jonathan. Kathi bengena-ke sasingekaqali ngalutho, futhi-ke uma bangena-ke bezonginikeza-ke amakhophi alezo certificate-ke zakhe uLiesering kanye noJonathan.
Okay. I listened to the record and specifically to the questions that were asked by my learned colleague, Mr. Advocate Mngomezulu, regarding the constitutional rights of the accused. Do you still remember that?
Kan jy net spesifiseer ten opsigte van watse konstitusionele regte, want ek is gevra op verskeie van dit?
Can you just be specific as to which one, because I was asked about a few or quite a few of them?
Yeah, the right to be taken to court within 48 hours. You remember those rights?
Ek onthou.
I remember.
Yes, the right to remain silent.
Ek onthou.
I remember.
And the rest of the constitutional rights that were put to you on Friday. Or do you want me to ask you if you did explain the constitutional rights of the accused? I don't want to go back, wherein we have already answered.
Wel, u moet net asseblief spesifiek wees aan die verwys na die konstitusionele regte waaroor ek gevra is, sodat ek net die vraag kan volg.
Just for me to be able,
korrek kan antwoord.
Just for me to be able to follow your question and to answer you correctly, you just have to be specific.
Die konstitusionele regte wat ek wel verduidelik het, is op die dokument gemerk hier.
The constitutional rights which I inquired about or which I asked about are on the document exhibit JJ. Lana ke engabuza ngawo ke mina ke amalungelo ngokomthetho sisekelo akhona ke kule document eku-JJ, kuzofanele nje uqonde ukuthi ukhuluma ngaliphi noma ngawaphi.
The right to be taken to court within 48 hours. Do you know that right? Have you heard about that right?
Natuurlik.
Of course. Yebo ke ngengezwa ke ngalelo lungelo ukuthi ke bisikhathi ke samahora o48 kufanele umuntu asiwe enkantolo.
Did you explain that to him?
Ek het hom nie pertinent sy aandag daarop gebring nie.
I didn't pertinently bring his attention to that specific aspect. Ukuthi ke ngamtshela ke ngokuqondile ke mayelana nalelo ilungelo.
Okay. Thank you for that concession. Now, the reason why I'm picking that one, it's because from this pro forma, you recorded that accused number 2 reported to you that he has been detained from the 16th until the 24th, or until the day when he appeared before you.
Dis
Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
Yebo ke kubhaliwe ke lana ukuthi waboshwa ke ziwu-16 kwaze kwayilela langa ke langa i-24 alethwa ngalo kumina.
And if you can just refresh your memory, he even said, in other words, he was reporting to you that he has not been taken to court. Did you listen to that?
Hy het gesê hy is op die 16de gearresteer. As ek net gaan na my notas toe kan gaan op hierdie bewystuk.
If I can just go to my notes on this exhibit, he said he was arrested on the 16th.
Sorry, can you give us the paragraph?
Paragraaf 9 op bladsy 4.
Paragraph 9 of page 4. Paragraph 9 you get over page 4.
Yes, you can respond.
Hy het gesê hy is op die 16de gearresteer. Hy het geen vooruitgang gesien nie. Ek gaan net aanhaal wat hy hier in Engels aan my meegedeel het. I saw no progress. I didn't see or understand what was going on. I didn't understand when I was supposed to appear in court. I know I was arrested. If one is arrested, they have to appear in court. I decided I want to come to court, and I called my attorney and told him I wanted to come to court.
Ngangingazi noma ngaboshwa angiqale lapho ngaboshwa ke ziwu-16 ngabona ke nginanqibekela phambili ngangazi futhi ke ngingazwisisi ukuthi kwenzakalani noma kuqhubekani ngangingakuzwisisi ke nokuthi kwakufanele ukuthi ke ngiyovela ke ngaphambi kwemanje ngiyakwazi ke okay ngiyazi ukuthi ngangiboshiwe futhi ke uma kuwukuthi umuntu eboshiwe kufanele ayovela ke phambi kwemanje noma ke aye enkantolo ngase ngithatha ke isinqumo sokuthi ngifuna ukuze enkantolo ngaxhumana ke nommeli wami ngamtshela ukuthi ngifisa ukuze enkantolo.
From my understanding of what you recorded here, it means or it shows that the accused was complaining to you about the unlawful detention, about the fact that he has been detained from the 16th without appearing in court. Am I correct?
Dis korrek.
If you read this.
Dis korrek.
Yes.
Dit was ook vir my baie duidelik uit hierdie paragraaf dat hy bewus was van sy regte in terme van die konstitusie, en dit is ook hoekom hy dan die prokureur gekontak het om hom voor die hof te bring.
That is correct, and it indicates in this paragraph that he was very much aware of his constitutional right, which is then why he contacted his attorney to bring him to court. Yes, that's what I said. Kuyiqiniso ke uyasho ke lana ukuthi amalungelo akhe kwakuumuntu owaziyo amalungelo akhe futhi ke kungingakho nje aqhumana ke nommeli wakhe ukuthi ke amlethe enkantolo.
Forget about the communication between the client and the so-called attorney because you were not there. Am I correct?
Dit is korrek.
Okay.
Ek kan net rapporteer en ek het dit ook geskryf wat hy vir my gesê. So wat hy vir sy prokureur meegedeel het, sal ek nie vir u kan sê nie.
That is correct. I can only report that because that is also what I wrote here. But what it is that he discussed with his lawyer, I cannot tell you.
Yes. So let's refrain from making any reference to their conversation. I'm talking about you when you were recording this. What rang into your mind? What did you understand by a person who is saying, I have not been taken to court? I have been in detention from the 16th until today, which was the 24th, if I'm correct, 24th of June.
That is correct.
Yes, that was 8 days.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct. Kuyiqinisa ukuthi kwaba amalanga awu-80 ke lawo suka ngazi 16 kuze kube langa langa 24.
Ek het ook dit self opgemerk en as 'n onreëlmatigheid beskou.
I also noticed that and considered it to be an irregularity. Ngakubona ke lokho futhi ngakubona ke ukuthi lena ke kwakuyinto ke engafanele ukuthi yenzekile
Op daardie stadium, want ek het nie meer inligting gehad as wat vir my gegee is nie.
At that stage, because I did not have any further information except that which I was told. Ngaleso sikhathi leso ngoba kwakungekho kunye enganginakho noma ulwazi enganginalo ngaphandle kwalolo engalitshelwa.
Don't worry, just stick here to paragraph 9. We're dealing with paragraph 9, nothing else outside paragraph 9. This person was complaining, why did you proceed with someone who had indicated to you that he was in an unlawful detention from the 16th of June? Why did you proceed in taking down the statement from a person who had been kept in an unlawful detention?
Hy was verdedig op daai stadium. Hy was begeerig om die verklaring te maak op daai stadium.
He was represented at that stage. He wanted to. It was from him. He's the one who showed that desire to speak or to say something at the time. Wayenomeli ufuna ukwazi kumele ukuthi kwakungani ke uma umuntu ekutshela ke ukuthi manje ubeboshwe noma ke ugcinwe ngendlela ke engekho emthethweni ukuthi uqhubeke. Lo muntu wayenomeli ngalesi sikhathi futhi kwakuphuma kuyena ukufuna ukukhuluma into eyisuka kuyena.
Op daardie stadium was ek van oordeel gewees dat dit nie nodig was om die verrigtinge tot 'n stop te bring.
And at that particular time, I also did not consider it, or I also did not see it necessary or deem it necessary to bring the proceedings to a halt or to stop with the proceedings. Ngaleso sikhathi leso ke angizange ngikuboneke ukuthi ke kuyisidingo ukuthi ke ngingaqhubeki.
Okay. You have also, in your examination in chief, if I remember very well, indicated to the accused in various ways that he must feel free and respond to you any irregularities and you will help him. Am I correct?
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Ebekuyiqiniso ke ukuthi ekhulumeni kwami naye ngamtshela ke ukuthi akakhululeke ke abusho ke ongenzekanga ke ngendlela ke.
Now after telling you this, that he had been kept in an unlawful detention, what did you do as a magistrate to release him?
Dit is nie binne my magte om hom vry te laat nie en ek het hierdie aangeleentheid in opsigte van hierdie punt aan die senior landros gerapporteer nadat die konfessie afgeneem is.
It was not within my powers to release him, and this particular aspect I mentioned it or I reported it to the senior magistrate upon the completion of taking down the confession. Kwangekho kimina ke ukuthi ngimdedeleke okanye ngithi ke akahambeke futhi ke lo daba lolu ke ngalibika ke kumantshi ke ephethe noma ke senior magistrate uma sengiqedile ke ukuthi ngibhale phansi noma ngithatheke the statement this.
Yes, I agree it was not within your powers to release the accused, but it was within your powers to stop and to say I cannot proceed taking down a statement from a person who has been or who is in unlawful detention before me. Am I correct?
Dit was nie op daai stadium vir my geoorloof om dit te doen nie, aangesien ek slegs 'n eensydige weergawe het van sy kant af van hoe hy voor my gebring is en ek nie al die feite gehad het nie. Dit was nie my geoorloof om die verrigting.
Dit was net die woord geoorloof verstaan.
Met ander woorde, dit was nie vir my in my mag om.
Okay. It was not within my authority for me to do that or to release him at that stage, and I only had this one-sided version from him. Ngaleso sikhathi ke kwakungekho kumina ke noma ke ngingenawo ke amagunya ke ukuthi ngingamdedela ke futhi ke enganginako ke kwakuyiloko engikutshelwa uyena kuphela.
Okay. Did you ask the police officer who had brought the accused why he has not been taken to court?
Nee, maar die polisiebeampte was nie teenwoordig op daai stadium nie.
No, because the police officer was not present at that particular time. Angizange ngilibuze ke iphoyisa lamletha ngoba lalingekho ngaleso sikhathi.
Okay. After when they were back to take him or later?
Nee, want die tyd toe ek die kantoor verlaat het, was daar niemand in die gang nie, nie die deposant nie, nie die polisie nie. En die enigste ander persoon was die senior landros.
No, because at that time there was no one in the passage, not the deponent, not the police. The only person that was in the passage was the senior magistrate. Ngaleso sikhathi ke uma sengiphuma ke sengiqedile ke nami wayengekho ke lona beqeda ukunikeza ke ngestatement kumina iphoyisa uyedwa nje kuphela umuntu wayekhona ke umantshi ophethe noma ke senior magistrate.
Okay. Did you make a note to the senior magistrate that the police must be informed to take the accused to court?
Ek glo nie, ek kan nie onthou dat ek het van daai woorde gesê het nie. Ek het wel vir hom gesê dat dit blyk, sover ek kan onthou, dat dit blyk dat die man in 16e gearresteer is en hy is nog steeds nie voor 'n hof gebring nie.
I do not recall her putting it in those exact words or words that you just mentioned, but I remember telling the magistrate that the senior magistrate that it appears that the gentleman was arrested on the 16th and he hasn't been brought before court up till that day. Angikhumbule ke ngikusho lokho ngalawo mazwi ke owashoyo ke kodwa ngiyakhumbula nje ke usenior magistrate ngimtshela ke ukuthi umlisa lona ke waboshwa ziwu-16 kuze kube lelo langa lelo ke akaka lethwa ke ngaphambi kwayo imantshi.
Okay. About the rest of the complaint that he had not taken a bath since he was detained on the 16th, did you do anything regarding that?
Nee.
No. Ukuthi ke akazange ke agezeke kusukela ngazo i-16 akukho ke engakwenza ngalokho.
He also had reported that he also needed to call his family. I think that was part of the complaint in this paragraph.
Dis correct?
That
Yes.
is correct. Yebushilo ke nokuthi wayefuna nokuxhumana nomndeni wakhe.
Did you do anything about that?
Nee.
No, akukho ke mayelana nalokho engakwenza.
So what was the use of you explaining to the accused that he must be free and report anything because you'll be able to assist him?
Dit is ten opsigte van onreëlmatighede of enige vorm van menseregte vergrype. Die ander aspekte kan ek self nie vir hom reëlings tref nie. Ek kan dit wel notuleer en dit sal dan by wyse van die oorhandiging van die dokument aan onder die polisie se aandag kom.
No, it was with regards to any irregularity as well as human rights or his rights of being what is this? Infringed. His rights being infringed. But with regards to the other aspects, I could not make any arrangements or do any other arrangements regarding that, except just to note that and bring it to the police's attention.
Yeah,
Kwakungekho ke engangingakwenza ke mayelana nokunye engangifisa nje ukuthi ngikwazi ukuba ngabe nje kukhona okwenziwa okumayelana noma ungahambisani nomthetho mayelana namalungelo akhe ke kodwa ke okunye lokhu ngangakubhala nje phansi bese ngitshela amaphoyisa ngapha.
But that also included this right that you are dealing with here. The right to be informed about being taken to court within 48 hours. That you did not do anything about that as we have promised him.
Hy was bewus gewees van sy regte en dit is waarom hy gereël het om voor 'n hof gebring te word of hof toegevat te word, sal ek maar sê. En hierdie vergryping is gerapporteer aan die senior landros.
He was aware of his rights, which is then why he then arranged to be brought before a court, and this infringement was brought to the attention of the senior magistrate. Amalungelo akhe ke wayewazi ingakho ke ayenzake ukuthi alethweke ngaphambi kwenkantolo futhi lokho ke mayelana nalelo daba lolo ngalidlulisa ke kuyona imantshi ephethe.
But you are the person who knew, who had a duty to explain the rights to the accused, and you failed to do so.
Ek het dit nie nodig geag vir iemand wat duidelik vanuit sy mededeling en sy klagte reeds bewus is van daardie reg om dit weer te herhaal nie. Ek het dit wel beskou as my plig om dit te rapporteer en ek het dit aan my senior landros gedoen.
I did not see it as being necessary for someone who was very much aware of that particular right to repeat it to him again, but what I did is that I noted it and reported it to my senior. Sorry.
Ek wil net ook byvoeg, jy moet ook onthou, hy was nie 'n onverdedigde persoon nie en was hy ook dan in die teenwoordigheid van sy prokureur en was die ook deeglik bewus van sy mededelings.
And I also want to mention this, that we are not speaking here about someone who was not represented. He was represented. The legal representative was also very much aware of what was being said. futhi ke lana ke asikhuluma lokhu ke engikhuluma ngako ke angizange ngisibone isidingo sokuthi ngikuphinde ngoba ke kwacace bhake ukuthi lo muntu amalungelo wakhe ke uyawazi futhi ke mina ke ukuthi nje ngangidlulisa kwimantshi ephethe lana futhi asikhulumi ngomuntu owayengenayo ummeli wakhe wayekhona ke lapho ummeli ekwazi noma enolwazi lwaloko okushiwoyo noma okukhulunywayo.
I think let's move on. We have already considered that no constitutional rights you explained. Now let's come to the injuries. I listened to the examination in chief when...
I don't think it's correct that no constitutional rights were explained.
It's not correct, we all know it.
Thank you, my lord. Let's now move on. You have testified that you have been serving as a magistrate for a longer period. You can just remind me, for how many years of experience have you been working as a magistrate?
Sedert 1996, eerste van die 7de maand.
The 1st of July 1996.
Yeah, which is how many years? Can you count?
Ag, ek het dit nou nie uitgewerk nie, seker hier by die 30 jaar.
I didn't count it, somewhere around the 30 years.
Somewhere around 30 years, you're not sure?
Dat ek dit net vir u uitwerk as u my net 'n geleentheid sal gun. Ek is ongelukkig nou nie iemand wat trek hou van alles wat ek doen nie.
Let me just work it out for you.
So 27 jaar.
27 years.
Okay.
Tige iminyaka u-27 ike lo ngisebenza njengemanje.
In civil court or in criminal court?
Hoofsaaklik die kriminele hof met afwisseling met die familiehof.
Mostly the criminal court, and then at the times I would then do the family court.
Okay. Also to the family court?
Ja.
Yes.
In die distrikshof word ons maar geallokeer tot alle howe.
In the district court.
Hoofsaaklik familie, askies kriminele hof en dan so tussen in die familiehof.
In the district court we are located in all the courts, but mostly it's the criminal court, but then in between will also be placed in the family court.
Oh, okay. So you are not a regional court magistrate?
Nee.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna get Imanji, yes, a regional court.
Okay. No, I understand. Okay. Do you agree with me that a person, if he has been assaulted, there may be visible injuries and there may also not be visible injuries?
Is correct.
You are correct. Uqiniseke ukuthi uma umuntu ke eshayiwe ke nakhona ke ukulimala okubonakalayo nokungabonakali futhi.
And the mere absence of physical injuries does not suggest that he was not assaulted.
Dis correct.
That is correct. Uqiniseke nokuthi ungabonakali ke amanqaba noma ukulimala akusho ke lokho ukuthi akashayiwe noma akazange ashaye.
And you also said when you completed this form, what did you do with it?
Nadat ek dit voltooi het, of wat presies bedoel jy?
After I completed, or what do you precisely mean?
Sorry?
After completing it, or what is it? What do you mean precisely?
After completing the document you were busy with, Exhibit JJ.
Ekskuus, ek volg u nie.
I don't get you.
There is Exhibit JJ in front of you.
Yeah.
It was completed by you.
Dit is correct.
After completing that exhibit, what did you do with it?
Praat u nou van die volledige dokument of net spesifieke bladsye?
Are you referring to specific pages or the entire document?
I'm referring to Exhibit JJ.
Ek weet nie of ek hier
When you-
verstaan nie, maar die prosedure wat ek gevolg het is nadat ek die volledige dokument voltooi het, as ook aanhangsel A, dit is nou die verklaring. Is die verklaring volledig teruggetrek aan die deposant, waar hy versoek is om te teken in die teenwoordigheid van myself, die tolk en sy prokureur, en ek en die tolk het ook ons die bladsy onderteken.
I don't know whether I understand you correctly, but after completing the entire document, that is now including the statement, it was then the statement. It was then requested that it be interpreted back in full, be interpreted back to him, whereupon he was then requested to sign in my presence, as well as that of the interpreter and his lawyer. Myself and the interpreter also then signed. Emuva ke kokuthi konke ke noma seniqede ngako konke lokhu wase efundelwa naso ke futhi statement ubhalwa phansi wase ngase ngicela kutolika ukuthi ke amfundeleke noma ke amtolikeleke sona sonke wase ecelwa ukuthi asayinde esayinda ngikhona utolike khona ummeli wakhe khona ngase nami ngiyasayinda kanye naye utolika wasayina.
Thank you, my lord. I've got no further questions.
Thank you for watching this video, and if you want to stay updated on this case and other legal developments, make sure to subscribe to our channel.